Hey guys, today Paul and I are going to be installing the Starlink Generation 3. Now this is applicable to the Generation 3 or the Mini regardless, and we'll show you how to install it into your four-wheel drive and how to use the minimal amount of power possible so that any sort of four-wheel drive can run it without needing a big battery setup. To start with, we'll take our dish. What we've done, your stand that comes with the dish so you can stand it up to aim it at the satellites. The Gen 2 was on the stand, didn't actually have a pivot stand like this one here. Now, that was locked in there. I've undone the tab here, pulled outwards, that's out. Now, Outcamp adventure gear, I've worked with them in the past with other canvas bags and everything else. They now specialise in Starlink gear. So we have here the Starlink mount kit. This works for the Gen 3, the Mini, and they even have gear for the Gen 2 as well. This is the centre mount, which you'll slot into your roof rack first of all. And then this will actually just slot straight in there and click into place. That's engaged then, don't do anything else. There's two end brackets, which just clamp in there, do them up in the roof rack, and that can't go anywhere. There's also little knobs on here you can remove if you like, and put standard nuts in there to make it harder for someone to steal it. We've centralised the middle bracket and done up the two bolts there. Now what we're going to do, I've already fed a little bit of convoluted tubing to protect this cable, the data cable, onto here. So Paul's going to hold that, and I'm going to click this, that's in. So now that's in, Paul can go back your way, Paul, and then slot it in.
I'll just gently make sure the cable's in the groove.
Yeah, there's a groove in the middle, so the cable sits there nicely.
Ooh.
Yep. Should be able to pull it. There it goes.
Just click.
That is all locked in now. Right now, Paul and I will both slot our end brackets in together. Just slot straight in the roof rack. One bolt each side, we'll do that up, and then the dish is completely locked in.
Yeah, very, very good. Good quality, very well made.
Before we run the wiring, we just realised we had to fit the cover as well, but the cover needed one of the feet to come off. So Paul's taking his foot off over there. So Paul's just going to slide.
Trying to slide it on very gently, not to scratch anything. Very well made.
Oh, awesome. This is from Outcamp as well. And this is going to protect the dish from anything.
I love the way the front edge here folds under, so if you do get stone chips, it's going to do the cover, not the actual dish.
And the dish isn't getting dirty either. Now get your foot back in.
So the foot, retaining foot, car goes past. And that just straight up.
We'll do that up, and now the cover cannot go anywhere. So now I'm going to run the wiring down the roof rack, along the side here, and actually I'm going to go up into the rooftop tent itself. Right, I've cable tied along the roof rack here, just come down. Now, to secure it on my roof here, what I've done, you clean this thoroughly with like an alcohol swab first. And I've got little 3M primer strips. Crack that. You can buy a 3M primer. This is adhesive primer. And all the places you're going to stick one of these little pads. So you want it at least every 20-30 centimetres. Stick a pad a bit down. I'll go around the roof rack here as well. So I'll put one there. One at the back of it.
Can never have too many pads.
Yeah. All right, that's it. We'll give that a minute to dry. Now what I've got, these are little 3M adhesive cable tie holders as well. So you can get these pretty much anywhere. So once this sort of is tacky dry, yep, that's pretty much done already.
Beautiful day, that's why, sunshine.
Oh, it's perfect today, isn't it? Peel the back off. Stick that straight down. You want to do this to all of them. That adhesive primer will really help it stick down a lot better than normal. So once, say you've done all of them, just get the cable tie, stick it straight through.
You're better off buying quality cable ties.
Yes, do not use cheap cable ties, they will not last. Same as these adhesives, make sure you get the 3M ones. If you buy the cheaper ones, they just won't last. They're not UV stable and they will crack and deteriorate. That's it. Point your tips your cable ties downwards as low as you can, cut that off, do that the whole way along, and then we're going to run it up into the rooftop tent. The cable ties are all finished off now, but I know I'm going to get a question, why didn't I put the dish on the back rack so that there was less cabling to run? There was a reason why we put it up front. First of all, it looks neater with Max Trucks back here, less wind noise, but mostly because we wanted the dish as far forward away from the rooftop tent as possible, because as you can see, with that rooftop tent, that would block a lot of the signal. So the further forward we can have it, the further away from the rooftop tent it is. So hopefully more signal. And it actually looks quite neat as well with the max tracks tucked away neatly at the back there and this at the front. It looks quite nice. I love it. To run the cable up into the rooftop tent, what I've done, I've gone to Bunnings. There's cable glands. You can get a 20mm cable gland. That's big enough to get the Ethernet cable through and up in. Now the original plan was to put it through into the canopy itself so that when we open the door, we had reception at camp and it was locked away out of the weather and everything else because the router has to be isolated from the weather because it's not weatherproof. But I have an issue. If I am to do that, I need to pull out my pantry, pull out the fridge, everything just to access this false wall at the back. So we're doing a test run. We're going to try it in the rooftop tent first to see how it goes, make sure the power inverter doesn't go too hot with my bedding and everything else up there. If there is an issue, then it's easy just to pull it back through and drill another hole in here and we run it into the canopy itself. So what we've done, the wiring comes out and luckily I already had a spare gland there, so it goes straight up in there. Another advantage of having it in the rooftop tent over the canopy, every piece of metal you put between the router and your device you want to pick up signal from, the signal is going to get weaker and weaker. So being up there, it's an aluminium canopy. It is going to block some of the signal, but it'll be the same as if you had it in the canopy itself with the door shut. But when I'm home, at the moment, I've currently got a Starlink dish on my roof, the version 2 at home, and I'm going to be removing that and just keeping this one here. So when I pull up near my front window, the Starlink from the car is actually going to be feeding my house. So that'll be the only Starlink I'll need. So if I had it in the canopy, I'd be running through one piece of aluminium here, then through the back window, then through the front windows, and then through the house. Whereas up in the rooftop tent, it only has to go through the one bit of aluminium there and then into the house. So I'm hoping I'll get much better signal. If all else fails, then I still don't get enough signal in the house. Starlink have a mesh router. I think it's about $400. It boosts the signal. I'll be able to mount that inside my house and have a stronger boosted signal. Now comes the fun part. Now that we've ran the Ethernet cable inside the rooftop tent, we need to supply power. So what originally comes with it is the power supply, the big brick that comes with the Starlink itself.
It's actually quite heavy as well, isn't it?
Yeah, with the removal plug there. Now that's your 240 volt plug. We won't be plugging into 240. We ran 240 last couple of weeks when we were camping, testing it out, and it averages between like 7 to 8 amps per hour, which is a lot. You need a big battery system with a lot of solar if you want to run this full time. I wouldn't recommend this if you can. You need to run it through your inverter and it's going to chew the power. So what we're going to try is this Cosmo power supply from Cowfish. It takes the 240 volts and reduces it down to 12 volts.
Yep.
Now, you got a couple plugs there?
Yep, we've got the Anderson plug you buy separately, so that can go straight to your 12 volt system and straight into the input here. You do get this line with it. With this line, you can hardwire it directly into your battery system, to your 12 volts.
Yeah.
I would advise putting a fuse on this.
Oh, you have to, yeah.
Yeah, or with this one doesn't have a fuse, but the system it goes into will have a relay or something.
Yeah, I've got the KitCast power supply box inside the rooftop tent, which is already fused, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and the Cosmo unit as well, it's almost half the weight of this and half the size.
So do you link down below
and
the
it has
Cosmo,
a switch.
Cowfish as well, and also the Outcamp. So I have links for both these products down below. Throw this away, don't need that anymore. Now this is the new router that comes with the Gen 3s. Cowfish have also supplied a router mount as well. So you can either mount it flat straight down there, they give you screws with it, or you can mount it through the back as well. So you can mount it vertical or horizontally.
Yep.
And that just slots in there, clicks in, done. It's
Nice
that
and
easy. Now, because we're putting the rooftop tent temporarily, I'm not going to mount this permanently yet. I'm not going to screw through the rooftop tent. There's no point putting holes in the rooftop tent when I don't have to.
Yep.
I'm just going to put some Velcro down on this, and that way it's just a temporary fix for now.
See how it goes with
Because
the signal.
we want to make sure this Cowfish power supply doesn't get hot. Now, it has got heat sinks on it, so it should help disperse the heat. So same thing with this. It does have mounting holes, so you can mount this permanently, but I don't want to do that just yet. So we're just going to put Velcro on the bottom of this as well and just test it out and see how it goes. So the router has two inputs. So the one on your right there is the power supply, and the one on the left is the Ethernet cable from the dish itself. So that'll plug straight into there, and there's your power. It's that simple. What I've done, I put an adhesive primer on both these surfaces again and stuck good Velcro down just from Bunnings. This was, I think, heavy duty. This holds like 4.5 kilos, this Velcro. So it should definitely hold this little.
Should hold the weight of these quite easily.
Now what I've done with this one here, rather than putting Velcro over the whole lot, I've just put on the edges, the very highest bits of the edges, to try and get a little bit of airflow underneath it, the best I can anyway. I would not recommend normally mounting on carpet if you can mount to a solid metal surface, just so that way you don't get any heat and it gets the maximum airflow possible. I would have rather actually mounted this in the canopy, but this Anderson plug going to my power supply is only that long, and that has to go to the router is only that long. 30 centimeters is about it. So it's not going to reach down into my canopy. So I'm limited at the moment. All else fails, I'll rip out my fridge, the pantry, everything, that false wall, drill the hole in the canopy, and mount the whole lot in the canopy itself for a more professional fit, but we'll just try this out for now anyway. Now, when I was speaking with Cowfish, I did ask him, my original plan was to go with the Starlink Mini over the version 3, because the Mini has a built-in router, so mounting it on my roof, meaning that inside my house, I would have had a much stronger signal because it didn't have to get through my rooftop tent, the canopy, nothing. It would have been direct signal straight in my house. The trouble with the Mini is the upload speeds are considerably a lot slower than the version 3. And also having the router built into the dish itself, on hot days, it will overheat and actually shuts down for a while until it cools down. Whereas having an external router with the version 3, you never have that temperature issue. It can run in any sort of temperatures. But the downside to that, I don't have the router built into my dish on the roof, so which means I have that router blocking everything. So I asked Cowfish, do they make an external antenna that I can mount on my roof rack to boost the signal inside my house or if we're further away from the car? And they do them, but only for the 4 or 5G.
5G phone service.
Yeah, for your phones. Cowfish actually specialise in caravan installs. They do a lot of stuff for the caravans, and a lot of people do still want 4 and 5G just for their phone boosters. So unfortunately, I can't get a signal booster for this. So this is the best we can do for now without getting that mesh unit installed in my house. The reason I would recommend most people go the Mini over the Gen 3, it is less than half the size, half the weight. Like I said, you don't need an external router or anything else. It's just so simple for people, and it can plug directly into 12 volt. And it uses less than half the power as well. So that ticks all the boxes for most people. I would not recommend the Gen 3 for the majority of people. It's only people like us that want good upload speeds. If you're live streaming or uploading YouTube videos, anything like that, you want where more speeds
are more the upload speed than the download speed we're interested in quietly.
Anything like that is more important to you, then go the Gen 3. But you lose out a lot of those factors. You've got to have a lot more room in your roof. Up in the rooftop tent now, what I've done, I've got the Kickcast 12 volt mini power box here. So it's got USBs, cigarette plugs, Anderson plugs, everything. One of them's already running the light in here when I charge my phones and everything off of it. So I've got the Anderson plug directly into here, straight into the power supply, and the power supply into the router. And the Ethernet cable that we ran up from the dish is plugged into the router as well. So it's all plugged in, ready to go. We've just turned it on, all good to go. Now, my mattress sits about here. I've got about a 30 centimetre gap where it's just empty gap. So there's plenty of airflow here. Even when the rooftop tent is shut, the mattress and bedding won't affect any of this. No bedding will touch that. So nothing should touch it, hopefully. What we're going to do next, now that it's all powered up and we've already tested it, it's all working fine. Paul's already done a walk around. He gets good range. You went 30, 40 metres away and you still had plenty of range?
Oh yeah, 100 metres up to the left of us.
Yeah. So I've got the phone running with how many amps are running through the battery. Currently it's around 8 amps. What I'm going to do now is turn off the Cowfish and see how much it drops by. So it's around 7.6. Ready? Give it a second to drop. 4.2. So around 3 amps. That's not bad. 7 to 8 previously, run it through the inverter, down to 3 amps. That's much more achievable for the average person with the average setup. Now, the cable we've wound up the best we can. I don't want to, you can get other cables much shorter, but I don't want to do that just yet until we work out whether this was going to be a permanent mounting or we were going to move it into the canopy. And if I need a shorter cable after that, then I'll do it. Until then, I've got a condensation mat that will go over top of this, the 100mm mattress and the bedding, and my feet are down this end anyway, so my feet aren't going to be bothered by the cable at all. The mattress is back in now. You can see there's a nice big gap at the end there. It all fits in there really nice and snug. I've even tied up that wiring a bit more. Velcroed it against the back there so it can't move. Got the anti-condensation mat down there. So nothing actually touches the electrical stuff. So it'll be nice and safe when I close the rooftop tent. After fitting the Starlink yesterday at Paul's place, we come down to Wellington Dam to camp for the night just to test it out and see how much power it actually used and see how well it performed outdoors.
Very well.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome. I've been doing tests. I've been getting between 250 to actually 350 megabit downloads and between 25 to 45 to 50 upload and about 29 ping. So the latency has been awesome as well. All over, I'm very happy with the Starlink outdoors. We have tried it a couple of weeks ago under trees though.
Yeah, it
That's
failed a little bit.
The one downfall. In summertime, you want to try and get under trees to be in the shade, but then you have no signal at all. It was dropping in and out. It worked for about 30 seconds and then drop out for a couple of minutes, and then come back in for 30 seconds, and it was just constantly all day just dropping out like that.
With the clouds, it's not bad. It's good.
But
it was just the tree coverage, wasn't it?
But we didn't intend on getting this to use it all the time while we're camping. Like I know we're going to get comments that say that just ruins the joy of camping. It's about getting away from everything, all the distractions, everything else.
But it has an on-off switch.
Yes, so you can shut it off.
Switch it off.
And I wouldn't recommend most people don't need Starlink when they're out just camping like this. Fair enough if you're travelling full time in a caravan or doing a full lap or something like that, then definitely invest in it. You can keep in contact with everyone out of range, especially if you break down anywhere.
So it's a safety convenience. If you're a full-time traveller and you're homeschooling the kids, you're off-grid for a few days and the family's worried about you and stuff, it's always there as a safety net's a good word to use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A big reason why we got it though is because previously a couple of years ago I used to do a lot of live streams when I was out camping and stuff, but being over here in WA, most of the campsites that I go to are so remote, we don't have service anywhere we go. And rather than just doing live streams out of houses, which would be boring, we still want to be able to do live streams with everyone out in the bush. So now we can do that anywhere we like. So for us, it has purpose, but it may not suit everybody. So I'm not going to recommend it to everybody.
No. We tried live streaming last night for the first time with it. It dropped out a couple of times.
Yes, that's Starlink itself. For the past week or so, I've been having issues with, even at home, I've got Starlink at home, and then even at home it's been dropping out probably 3 or 4 times a night. So I hope they fix that soon. Yeah,
it's not for long, only a minute or so, and it slows down and builds back up. But Telstra at my place with broadband's shocking.
Now, in a minute, I'm going to do a range test. I'll walk away from the car and I'll do speed tests and also see how many bars I have on my phone, and I'll let you know what sort of ranges roughly I get with distance. But we've been really happy with the distance so far, haven't we?
Yeah, it's behind walls, trees, in-house, out-of-house.
Yeah.
Whether the car's parked in a certain direction, etc. It's, very, very good.
And I've got 600 amp hours of lithium in the Hilux. And overnight, as well as I used the induction cooker for a little bit this morning and that as well, and I think the inverter was going all night and the fridge and everything else, I was down to 75% in the morning. So it did use 25% of my 600 amp hour capacity. So I think it ranges from about 3 to sort of 7, 8. It just spikes up and down.
Yeah.
So same thing, I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. If you have got enough power to run that sort of thing or enough solar, then it's fine.
And the temperature of the units inside your rooftop tent as well was...
Yes, well, I was already surprised. The Cowfish power supply itself, because it had the heat sinks and everything else, as a power supply, I was expecting that little brick to get really hot. But that was pretty much, this morning, it's cool to touch. It is not hot at all. The router itself was a lot hotter than the power supply was. It was still, I could still touch it. It's still safe for the router to be in my rooftop tent. But speaking of that, last night when I got to camp, the drive over here was a test to see how it went in the rooftop tent with everything shut up. And I got to camp, opened the rooftop tent up, and the router and the power supply had fallen down. The Velcro didn't hold up very well. It was too extreme Velcro for the little fabric that I was holding onto. So I just stuck it down flat on the base, on that flat area, and that's holding up really nice now. I still might move it in the canopy though.
Yeah, I think in the canopy, because it's easy accessible if you
want to
open the side and not put the tent up.
Because the on and off switch, I don't have it, without pulling my fridge and everything else out, I'm not going to have a remote on and off switch. So that Cowfish power supply has an on and off switch. That's the only way I can turn it on and off at the moment. So I don't want to be somewhere and have to set up my rooftop tent just to go in and turn it on and off. I want to be able to do that anytime I want. So that's one downfall, but I reckon I'll definitely move it into the canopy.
Yep. Seems to go through the steel, the signal for it very, very well. So the canopy's no different to the rooftop tent. Yeah,
because of that Wi-Fi 6, the signal is really good. So I reckon now we'll go for a walk and we'll see what sort of signal strength we get.
Yep. Well, you can go for a walk. I'll sit and drink my cup of coffee.
I'm doing a screen recording on the phone now. So I'm only a couple of metres away from it right now. I'll do a speed test. Oh, it's gone a lot slower than it was this morning. It depends, Starlink I've noticed too, depends on the time of day. I think on the amount of users that are using it at that time. So there must be a lot more users using it right now because it's dropped right down 125. Upload's still good, and the ping 26 milliseconds, which is fantastic. All right, I'll walk about 50 metres now. We'll check it again. Oh, actually, I better let you know I have full bars on the phone at the moment in the top corner of the screen. You can see that. This is probably about 30 metres, and we'll check it again now. I've still got full signal, in the top corner. Oh, wow. See, it's completely random. Like I said, depends when you do the speed tests. Over 300 megabits now. So it's not affected by the speed at all at the moment. So you could easily be inside your house and still get the internet. So there's no point paying Telstra or another provider as well as Starlink if you have it on your car. Your car should be sufficient enough to reach inside your house. If not, you just get that mesh router. It's a once-off payment, and that will boost the signal inside your house, so your whole house will be covered by Starlink internet. 317, 15 upload, 27 milliseconds. I'm an easy 50 meters now. Still have full signal in the top, which is really strange. I'm this far away and still got full signal in the rooftop tent with the aluminium blocking me. That is incredible. Still 198, upload slowing down. Again, this is why I didn't go to the Mini, because the upload speeds on the 3 are far superior than the Mini. The Mini uses older technology, the older Wi-Fi technology in that, because I had to fit so much more in a smaller unit. I'm about 100 meters now away from the car. I still have 3 bars of signal up in the top right-hand corner. Here I am, way over here, 200 meters away. Let's check it one last time, because I don't think there's much point going past here. So I still have half signal on the Wi-Fi in the top right-hand corner. Still nearly 300, over 300. You got to bear in mind, if there are obstacles in between you and the router, the more obstacles, the more the signal will be reduced. So if you have it in a caravan or anything like that, that will reduce it significantly as well. But saying that, I'm in an aluminium rooftop tent right now, blocking the signal. And it's also going through my recovery boards and the roof racks as well. And I'm still getting 307, 48, and 26 milliseconds. So I'm more than wrapped with that. That's bloody amazing. Well, mate, I'm really impressed with the speeds we were getting then. I 200 meters away and still getting those sort of speeds. I was getting over 300 megabits per second, still 200 meters away from the car.
I took a photo of you in the distance because you look like Wee Man.
I even stood on this stump 200 meters and waved just so that people could still see me on the camera, just in case they can't see me on the camera.
Yeah, no, it was, and that was from the front of the car.
Yeah, with the rooftop
so
tent
the rooftop tents like this, where if you'd have gone out the back, I reckon you'd have been actually at the dam.
Although if I had it in the canopy, then it would have been a lot less, because it would have had the canopy blocking it,
and the
roof. Plus the fridge and everything else that's in the canopy.
Yeah.
And then the cabin and everything in between, seats, everything blocking it. But I'm really happy with that. That's more than what we need. We're only 5-10 meters away from the car at all times, so we don't need it that far away.
No,
if we're live streaming or something, we don't need any more than that.
We're really just a 50 meter radius is ideal.
Yeah.
And that was working fine.
Yep. Yeah. So guys, don't forget, both Outcamp and Cowfish, the links are both down below if you want to check those out.
Very well made.
With Outcamp, if you purchase anything from them, we will earn a small commission just to try and help support our channel, so that would be much appreciated. But they both have fantastic products, so check them both out, especially if you want a carry-on product, then check out Cowfish. Anything in general Starling related, or canvas bags or anything else, check out Outcamp.
Yep, excellent gear, really is.
If you've got any more questions about anything we've done to this video, guys, don't hesitate to leave a comment. We're always happy to answer. If you found the video helpful, leave a like. It really helps. But thanks for watching the video, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.